this week, what I'm feeling, the energy that I'm feeling, it feels very, for you all, it just, there's like this subtleness to the energy. It doesn't feel very fiery. It doesn't feel very hot. It feels very subtle. It feels like spirit is calling you in, fire signs. Okay, I pulled the discontent and boredom card for you. And what I'm hearing spirit ask you to prioritize this week, fire signs, is getting clear on what it is that you want. Okay, spirit is asking you to get clear on what it is that you want during this season of your life. Okay, because what I'm seeing is that spirit is calling you into this space of settling, like really coming into a life that feels good to you and settling into it. All right. And so spirit wants you to get clear on what it is that you want so that you can start to take the steps that are necessary for you to take in order to settle and ease on into it. All right. So don't be afraid of that word settle, because it's more than it has nothing to do with you settling for less. It has everything to do with you giving yourself permission to settle for what it is that you deserve. Okay, so that's a different way to look at it. And so the reason why the discontent and boredom card came through is because spirit is saying that sometimes, fire signs, you can get into your head with all these different ideas about what you want to do, and you want to go here and you want to go there and you want to do this and you want to do that. And spirit is saying, really, your heart knows. And when you get caught up in these narratives about going here, going there, going everywhere, um, you that's when you tend to settle, and this boredom and discontentment begins to creep in. But spirit is saying, if you can be true to your heart, if you can get clear on what it is that you want, then you avoid the discontent and boredom, because you're living a life that is genuinely happy. And also what I'm hearing, fire signs, is that the reason why this easing into and settling into, a life that really, um, what is, there's a, it's an, okay, there's an, I like to use, I like to use old language, and so the word was coming through, but I could feel it, but I can't really pick up on what the word is. But um, I'm gonna let it go, but it's gonna come to me later and I'm gonna laugh about it. But anyway, so you settling into a life that really suits you, okay? And so that's what spirit is calling you into, and that's why spirit is asking you to prioritize getting clear on what it is that you want, so that you can settle into this life that is for you, right? That doesn't mean that you are not the free spirited explorer that you are, fire signs. It just means that you're giving yourself permission to receive what it is that you desire, and you're giving yourself permission to accept that you deserve to live a life that is, again, that word wanting to come through, but it's not coming to. But you accepting that you deserve to live a life that that suits you, that suits you. That's, we're just gonna stick with that, because the word's not coming, wanting to come through for me. But so that's your priority for this week. All right, getting clear on what you want will kind of set some things into motion for you. Okay, and so that's really what you're needing, is you're needing some things to be set into motion, and spirit is like, we have your back. We just, this is what we want you to handle. We want you to handle, we want you to take care of getting clear on what it is that you want, and really listening from within, right? So you can receive clarity on that from the inside, from within yourself. And then spirit is saying everything else we're taking care of, and it's already happening, right? Everything has already been set into motion. Spirit is just saying, once you get clear on what it is that you want, you may find yourself knocking on some doors soon, or answering some doors, or seeing some windows being opened on your behalf soon. And this is in every aspect of your life, right? This is financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, uh, physically, relationally. This is in every aspect of your life, you getting clear on what you want in those areas of your life, and then watching as things flow in because you're getting clear, okay? Three of Coins. We have the Three of Coins first, all right? And so once you get clear on what you want, and you know what? Let's start here. So with the Three of Coins, what I'm hearing is that a part of the reason, fire signs, why you don't give yourself permission to ground into a vision and then see it come to life is because you have done a lot of this life alone. You've done it. You've really had to support yourself, fire signs. You really had to be. It's like you have been your own support system, right? And so through the Three of Coins, Spirit is saying, listen, um, once you get clear on what it is that you want, you don't have to worry about the details. You don't have to worry about where the support is going to come from because the support is there. God is supporting you in the process of settling into this life that you have envisioned for yourself, okay? And so through the Three of Coins, Spirit wants you to be open to receiving support, fire signs. That is what Spirit is saying to you. Be open to receiving support, okay? That's the message that's coming through the with the Three of Coins, is be open to receiving support, okay? Um, because Spirit, God, the universe is supporting you. Favorite book is The Alchemist. Favorite line from the book is that the universe is always conspiring on your behalf, okay? And that's the message with the Three of Coins, is that once you get clear on what you want, work with that affirmation. The universe is always conspiring on my behalf, because the universe is always conspiring on your behalf, and Spirit really wants you to ground into that so that you can release any worries, release any fears, release any doubts, release the tendency to settle, to settle in a life, into a life that really isn't for you, just for the sake of security, right? It's like you have this tendency, fire signs, um to want security, but then you settle for a false sense of security. So with the Three of Coins, Spirit is saying, listen, we've got your back. The universe is always conspiring on your behalf. You have nothing to worry about. Just do what we're asking you to do, and that's get clear on what it is that you want, okay? And then we have the Hermit. We have the Hermit. We have the Hermit. So through the Hermit, fire signs, this isn't really about isolation, but it is about, for you with the Hermit this week, it is about you taking out the time to tend to your own needs, okay, fire signs, because part of the reason why you end up settling is because you don't want to, I'm not going to say you don't want to, but part of the reason why is because you don't really give yourself what it is that you need to provide for yourself on a mental, especially on a mental and emotional level, okay? Um, you have a tendency to put yourself in spaces, fire signs. Um, some, I don't even know how to word this right now because, and listen, y'all know this happens every single week. I'm a fucking fire sign, and um, it happens every single week, right? And I'm having to process this as I'm sharing it with you. So I'm like, what are you about to slap me in the face with, Spirit? That's what I'm saying. But you fire signs with the Hermit this week coming through for you, Spirit is saying, really give yourself permission to, again, what is your priority for the week, fire signs? Your priority is to get clear on what it is that you want. And in order for you, okay, yes, so in order for you to do that, you do have to isolate yourself in a sense. You do have to take a step back from the outside world. You do have to take a step back from giving so much of yourself to everything out there, so that you can spend time with yourself, because that's the issue, fire sign. A part of the issue is that you avoid spending time with yourself. Okay, you avoid spending time with yourself, and here I am in my mind, I'm arguing with this. I'm like, I spend a lot of time with myself, actually. Like, I really do. So for and yes, so we're gonna okay. So for some fire signs, you may you may have a tendency to avoid spending time with yourself, right? And this is due to anxiety, fear, what just different things like that. And so you avoid spending time with yourself because you avoid spending time with yourself because you don't believe that you have the power. Ooh, and that's just it, period. Because you don't believe that you have the power. You aren't putting your faith in your inner power. You aren't putting your faith in your inner authority to overcome the mental roadblocks. And so you just avoid. And Spirit is saying, if you want to settle into the life that is for you, that you deserve, that you desire to experience for yourself, then you need to stop avoiding yourself. You need to stop avoiding yourself, because the only way that these mental and emotional roadblocks can be cleared is if you clear them. Okay. And in order for you to do that, fire signs, you got to spend time with yourself. Okay. You got to spend time with yourself. And, um, and that's just that. That's just that, right? Um, and also, I'm also hearing shifting in how you perceive boredom. Because for some fire signs, for some of y'all, you may be like, you may have this idea in your mind that spending time with yourself or staying at home is boring. And Spirit is like, I've heard something before where somebody referred to boredom as sacred boredom. Okay, seeing boredom as sacred as that, seeing that time where you are spending time alone, or you are just staying inside and just being with yourself, seeing that as that's sacred time, right? That's sacred time. That's time where you can get to know yourself. That's time where you can get to see yourself through a new lens. All right. And so for you this week, a part of getting clear on what it is that you want means spending time with yourself, right? Letting go, surrendering the pattern of avoiding. Okay, surrendering that pattern, letting go of that pattern, um, where you tend to avoid being with yourself, because in being with yourself, you're going to be able to gain some clarity, which is what you really need in order for you to move forward. Okay, spent a lot of time there. Four of Swords, Four of Swords. All right, Four of Swords, more of that energy, more of that, more of that spending time with yourself energy, more of that giving to yourself what it is that you need, right? More of that um, creating space of solitude for yourself, going into the quiet place. Okay. Um, Again, because a part of where you're needing to make some adjustments, fire signs, is you're needing to make some mental adjustments. All right. You're needing to make some adjustments mentally. Um, and that's so that you can experience this support. Okay. So surrendering the tendency to avoid, prioritizing, getting clear on what it is that you want, being open to receiving support. All right, creating the quiet space so that you can identify those roadblocks, right? Spending time in solitude so that you can identify those roadblocks, because that's what it is. That's why you avoid spending time with yourself, fire signs, is because you have a hard time seeing those thoughts that serve as roadblocks, right? They overwhelm you, and you're like, how am I ever going to am I ever going to break free from these thoughts? And Spirit is saying, yes, yes, but you giving yourself permission to see them, to honor them, That's how you break through. You giving yourself permission to spend time in solitude so that because in spending time in solitude, you see these roadblocks and then you're able to step inside of yourself, step into yourself, and empower yourself to remove them, right? Because you have the power, you have the tools. Um, Nobody else can remove the roadblocks for you. You have to do it for yourself. So that's where Spirit is taking you this week, fire signs, really asking you to go within and spend some time with yourself, to really be intentional about going into the quiet space, okay, so that you can again gain some clarity on what it is that you really want, um, so that you can dig into yourself to find out why am I avoiding myself, and it almost always has everything to do with when you look at where or what it is that you're avoiding or why you're avoiding yourself, there's something there that you need to hold yourself accountable to, right? There's something there. Spirit is saying there's something that you're needing to hold yourself accountable to, and a lot of times we tend to avoid because we don't want to hold ourselves accountable, but you have to do that for yourself, all right? And then Sagittarius, your clarifying card is the Seven of Coins. Sagittarius, I'm really just feeling for y'all with the Seven of Coins that, once you integrate what's being asked for you to, what Spirit is asking you to integrate, when you really prioritize Sagittarius, really getting clear on what it is that you want, I'm hearing that the harvest is plentiful. I'm hearing that, you know, it's going to happen like this. The harvest is going to unfold like this, right? Instantaneously. So I'm really seeing that, Sagittarius. If you can get clear on what it is that you want, if you can listen from within to gain clarity on that, write it down, Sagittarius. Write it down. Write it down. I already know that y'all, we Sagittarians, yeah, we're the philosophers, so we do a lot of writing, but Spirit is saying we want you to write it down, okay? Write it down and commit it. Commit it. When you write it down, commit it to God. Give it to God and give thanks to God, Sagittarius, for seeing this thing come to life on your behalf, okay? Because what I'm hearing too with the Seven of Coins is that when you get clear on what it is that you want, um, you're gonna ooh, I can just feel it in my gut, okay? I can just feel it. So you're going to be experiencing the windows opening up on your behalf instantaneously, Sagittarius. And then for you, Aries, your clarifying card is the Page of Wands, okay? Your clarifying card is the Page of Wands, and Aries, through the Page of Wands, I'm feeling, I'm really just feeling like you want to be, like, I'm feeling like your inner child really wants to be held. And so, with the Hermit coming through for the overall reading, and then you receiving the Page of Wands, it's like I can really feel for you, Aries, that your inner child really wants to be held. And so, for you, you're with your clarifying card being the Page of Wands and the Hermit coming through, and Spirit asking, fire signs to step into the quiet space. You really need to be held. You really need to be held. The 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 version of your inner child that needs to be held is the version of your inner child that was very curious, very much adventurous, okay, Aries, but then it feels like not that you've been cut off from that version of yourself, from that adventurous, curious part of yourself, but that I can't even, I mean, something's stuck, okay? Because this is really not wanting to come through. And I can feel that maybe you're not, again, going back to that conversation of avoiding. There's something there that you're avoiding, Aries. You're really the fire sign that has a tendency to avoid, okay, that has a tendency to out of sight, out of mind. And so spirit wants you to really do some, in your isolation, in your moment of solitude, your focus, Aries, is supposed to be on inner child work, okay, doing some inner child work, closing your eyes, visualizing, and allowing your spirit to show you the version of your inner child that this is referencing, so that you can hold that version of yourself, Aries, because it feels like they're part of the reason why you have a tendency to avoid, and then part of the reason why you have a tendency to settle is because there's some stuckness, okay, and I'm really feeling it in the throat chakra area. And so inner child work is your priority this week. So along with getting clear on what you want, Aries, your priority is to really tap into your inner child and have a conversation with her and ask her, ask him, ask them, Aries, what is it that you want? What can I give to you? Okay, that's it. Because part of it for you, Aries, is that you're not used to people asking you what it is that you want, and you're not used to that being fulfilled. Okay, so Aries, do that inner child work and ask that version of yourself, whatever inner child version of yourself that spirit shows to you. Ask that version of yourself, what can I do for you? What do you want? What can I do for you? All right. And then Leo, your clarifying card is the Star. Your clarifying card, Leo, is the Star. And what I hear coming through for you, Leo, is that you put a lot of pressure on yourself to fulfill other people's expectations. All right. And so this is why it's good for you to take out some time this week to really get clear on what it is that you want. What are your expectations? Right? Not what do you expect yourself to achieve, not what do you expect yourself to accomplish, Leo, but what are your expectations? How do you want to feel in this life, right? How do you want to feel mentally and emotionally? What do you want to experience? That's what spirit really wants you to get clear on, Leo, because you have a tendency to know the goals that you want to meet, you know what you want to accomplish, you know what you want to achieve, but how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel mentally, emotionally? How do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? What is there some place that you want to travel to? Is there some place, something that you, some life outside of the life that you've always known that you want to explore? All right, Leo. So you, with the Star coming through, you're the priority, not other people's expectations. So give yourself permission to let go of needing to fulfill certain expectations. Let go of the idea or belief that you have to be a part of the status quo, because that's what keeps you in this space of discontent and boredom. All right. Okay, fire signs, that is your weekly reading for the week of April 16th through April 22nd. If you have any thoughts, any comments, any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. If you would like to receive a personalized weekly reading, then you can use the link in the description to book that. If you want to join any group sessions that I have going on throughout the week or throughout the month, use the link in the description to also sign up for those. I love you all so very much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, and share this with your fellow fire signs. See you next week.